First of all, the reptilian civilization is a matriarchy. And by that, it's not because one day they decided to say, hey, it'd be a good idea if women ruled us. No, that's not why. On this planet, why do we have a patriarchy? It's very simple. The reason this planet is patriarchal is because males are physically stronger than females. This is an issue. This is not an issue in the reptilian empire. Because the females in the reptilian empire, they all have venom. Doesn't matter if you're stronger, faster. They just spray venom on you and you're gone. They don't have to bite you. It's venom like you don't know on this planet. And they spray it and it's your end of day for you. And they can spray at great distances. They just put some saliva on a blade and paper cut you. It's game over. So when you have the females with this level of power on a biological level, they're going to dominate. So some of you feminists may be like, oh, tell me more about this empire. But that's the reality. Meanwhile, you have the Saurian Wolfen, who created the Anunnaki. They're a patriarchy. They have that belief, oh, women are just for breeding. They should be in the kitchen. They literally act that way. And you can imagine that a culture where the women are like, hey, we spew venom. And then this other culture's like, you belong in the kitchen. This isn't going to work out. But when you're threatened by the Magians, who have technology that is so out of control, well, you guys better get together and team up. So Lucifer, she had a marriage of convenience with an individual named King Anu, which is where the term Anunnaki comes from. It's King Anu's creations. And they got together to unite against the Magians. And this created a problem because Lucifer had a son. That son's name was Lucifer. Now, this is an important thing we need to bring out. In modern religion or theology, you're taught that Satan, Lucifer, and the devil are three names for the same being. It's not the case. There are three entirely different beings that got conflagrated together in order to keep you more confused. So, the difference between these beings, just for the record also, is that while Lucifer and Satan rebel against the Divine Father, the devil actually does not. So this is a big fundamental difference between them. So another thing I need to point out here is that Lucifera, when she reproduces, and reptilians have eggs, if a male fertilizes her eggs, the offspring is always female. But if her eggs are inspirited by the Divine Father, we have a male entity that comes from her. And that's where we get beings such as Lucifer, Jesus, various angels, the Elohim, anyone whose name ends in L. When you read the Bible, you read ancient literature and someone's name ends in L, they are a product of Lucifer's eggs being divinely inspirited by the Divine Father as opposed to being inseminated by a male drone. It produces a very different type of being. These beings have a very different nature. So, Lucifer was scheduled to inherit the throne, for lack of a better word, lack of a better way to say it. However, since Lucifer married King Anu, now he basically lost his right to the throne. He's not happy with this, yeah? It's actually King Anu's son, Prince Enlil. We've all heard of Enki and Enlil in mythology and history. Everyone's heard those terms. Well, guess who Enki is? Lucifer. Just another name. So Enki and Enlil, they didn't like each other. We know why. So Lucifer's idea, I'll call him Lucifer instead of Enki just to be very clear about it, was he always said with every waking moment of his day, what can I do to make life harder for Enlil? And at the same time, Lucifer had this idea. He said, well, if I can't have my kingdom in the reptilian Siakar Empire, maybe I can create a kingdom here on this planet and rule over all the beings on it. He had some ideas. He was a genetic re-engineer, and that's what he did. He wasn't a warrior type of being. He was more of a scientist.